Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and former second gentleman Doug Emhoff, he just got blindsided, and so did a bunch of other people. Before we get started, guys, as always, it really helps us if you just like, comment, share, and subscribe. Again, it helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and that's really essential. So, guys, listen. Donald Trump won. He won the election. And when you win the election, well, you can kind of do what you want to do. You can do all the things you said you were going to do. And you can even take some swipes at your enemies. God knows these people took swipes at Donald Trump after he left the White House. They made their livelihoods off of it. Whether you go to New York or Georgia or D.C. or Florida, people, attorneys general, district attorneys, special counsels, they were all going after Trump. And then when he does something minor to say, I don't want to work with these people, they go nuts. That's what just happened on MSNBC. See, what Trump did was he removed former second gentleman Doug Emhoff. He said, you're fired. Removed him from the Holocaust Memorial Board. And he removed a bunch of other people, too, that were put there by President Joe Biden. And MSNBC's going crazy and calling it political, but wasn't it political when Joe Biden appointed these people to that board? Wasn't that political? He didn't pick a single Republican. How the hell did that happen? I know personally plenty of Republican Jews who would have loved to be on that board. It's important that we remember the Holocaust so that it never happens again, so that nothing like that ever happens again. But who's on the board as long as they're qualified? Come on. How the hell is that an issue for MSNBC or anybody else? All these people do is whine, cry, and call themselves victims. It's abhorrent. I want you to watch this video of this crybaby and let me know what you think in the comments.
That we saw coming out of the first couple weeks. There's also just the regular onslaught of sort of broken rules, traditions, and what, for lack of a better word, we might call basic decency. It's hard to imagine, Mark, how it would play worse or be a bigger deal if a different random president started trying to politicize the federal approach to memorializing the horrors of the Holocaust, because there's no reason and no defense for that becoming a partisan activity. So if you imagine that a random other president with, say, a D by his name did that, how that would play. And yet the Trump administration facing a scandal today because President Trump has been ousting appointees to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, some of them Jewish Americans with a record and ties to these important historical matters, basically because they happen to be Democrats and were previously appointed by President Biden. That includes DNC Chair Tom Perez, Susan Rice, Doug Emhoff, who, of course, is the former second gentleman. The Times says this comes a week after the observance of Holocaust Remembrance Day, a complicated time for American Jews. Some worry Trump is weaponizing what are genuine fears about anti-Semitism, which, of course, has remained a problem throughout world history, but politicizing that. In other words, rather than caring about anti-Semitism, trying to use it to score cheap political points, quote, for political purposes, the Times writes. Emhoff, who is a Jewish American, says, quote, Holocaust remembrance and education should never be politicized. To turn one of the worst atrocities in history into a wedge issue is dangerous. Mark, your thoughts